In this video, I'm going to show you how I did this design, which is the rose quartz design, and I'm going to be using gel polishes. So if you're interested to see how I did this look, please keep watching. What I'm doing here is the nail to the left, I'm going to do this as a press-on nail, and the one to the right, I'm going to do as a client nail. Both of these are going to start out with the sheer pink manicure color from Young Nails, and I just put a thin coat over both of them, and then they're going to go into the light for a full 60-second cure. While those are in the light, I'm going to take the white 101 from Young Nails and I'm going to put a pile of that on my ceramic dish off to the side. I'm also going to take a Young Nails striper brush to have ready and a flat brush, which kind of looks like a flat makeup brush that you would use for like a liner shadow. And I'm also going to have a bottle of alcohol. And what I do is I press down a little bit so that way there's enough of it on the top so I can just dip my brush into that little spot. Using the striper brush first, I get that nice and coated with the white 101 gloss, and I'm just gonna draw random lines going through the nail. Not too many of them, but at least a good 2 of them kind of randomly. And you can make it really thick. It doesn't have to be perfect lines. It can be as sloppy as you want, because afterwards, I take the flat brush and I dip that into the alcohol and I get that nice and soaking wet, and what this does is it's going to help spread around the white polish. So when I dip that into the polish, it just makes it kind of spread around, and it's pretty much the same as doing a marbling effect if you were going to do any type of marbling on the nails. So I do both lines with this so that way they're not just one solid line, and then these are going to go into the light also. Since the nail to the left is going to be a press-on nail, it's okay if we do a few different layers of the gel polish, because the thicker that it gets, it's just going to give the nail strength, to where if we were to do that on a client's nail, it's going to come out a little bit too thick and not as pretty to look at. So I'm going to basically start the same process I did from the beginning and go back in to the press-on nail with the sheer pink, and that one's going to go into the light. As for the nail that we are using as a client nail, I'm going to use the pink 102 pearlized, also by Young Nails. This is just a really pretty reflective semi-sheer color, and I'm going to do a really thin coat of this just to give it a little bit of a pretty pearlized reflective type of look that will be underneath another layer of the sheer pink anyways, so it's just not so plain and cloudy. So for the press-on nail, I'm going to go back in with the white, and this time I'm going to do the designs in a different direction than what we did previously, just to make it look like there are more layers to this nail. So you do basically the same thing, is coat your brush with a pretty decent amount on there and just randomly put 1 or 2 lines through it and make sure they're nice and coated, so that way when we go to spread it out with the alcohol brush, it doesn't completely disappear. So for the client nail, I'm gonna go back in with the sheer pink, and this is what's gonna help it look like there are layers without being too many layers actually applied to the nail. And it's also going to tone down that reflective pearlized color that we put on there before. It'll just let it peek through just enough to where it has something different about the nail, with a little bit more of a shine or the reflectiveness of it, but also to give it that cloudiness. So going back to the press-on nail, I'm going to use the pink pearlized that we already used on the client nail. And I'm still going to do a very thin layer of this because we only want just enough of a reflectiveness coming through. It doesn't have to be very exaggerated or anything like that. And another option you can do is add little pieces of like a gold foil. I've seen a lot of these done. So just to add a little bit of something else to the pretend client nail, I'm just going to show you how I do that. My brush is already semi-wet from the alcohol, so it's easy to pick it up. And you just kind of use this in random spots around the nail. Some people do it all the way around the perimeter. What I like to do is if the white came out a little too thick in some spots and I didn't notice it until later, you can use the foil to kind of tone down the white. But put it in a few random spots on the nail and then just put it into the light and top coat it when you are done and it will be all set. So for the final layer of the press-on nail, since the client nail is finished besides top coat, is going back in with one more layer of the sheer pink. And this is once again, like we did with the other one, is to tone down the pearlized one so it's not too reflective, and to also give it that look of having other layers, and to just make it kind of more of like the cloudy that we're looking for, but also keeping it to where the nail is still very transparent. So the final step for both of these nails is to go in with your top coat and put it in for your final 60-second cure. This is the final look for these nails. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up to this and subscribe and look out for more videos. Thank you.